Yeah.
Okay.
This,
Okay, I'm ready.
yeah. This is
Thank you
good.
so much.
It's been a blessing. Thank you so much. I begin my day with lots of gratitude. Uh, Again, a sincere thank you from the bottom of my heart for the LinkedIn recommendation. Uh, Literally, I was like with happy tears, I should say. That was an awesome thing. And with respect to getting the marketing videos done, we will definitely do that. Only thing is, we have to drive in more awareness. We have to bring in more awareness. We got to educate uh, all our target audience with the kind of services which we are offering through Anderson services. And definitely, we will rock it. In fact, as per the previous request which you mentioned for Nancy, again, for the kind of clients which she's looking for, we can also work on that.
Okay, let's hold off on Nancy for a minute. And so let's start with the other.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what the situation is.
Okay.
We are well known in the US in the medical field, specifically with hospitals. And so that what I'd like to do initially is one, I sent you an email a minute ago just to give you an example of what happens when I post anything on LinkedIn. And what it is that many of the people who view even little posts that I put on are actually already clients of ours. And so that what I need or what I'd like for you to do is realize that the people who make referrals to us of physicians are usually in a very narrow area. They are either HR managers for physicians or what's called credentials committee. What a credential committee is in this country is that in order for you to practice at a hospital, to admit your patients and treat them at a hospital, you have to have privileges from that hospital. And so that if you misbehave or if there is a problem regarding your work, then it is the credential committee that will mandate that you receive some type of intervention. So that's only those two entities that we're interested in contacting major hospital chains in the United States, modifying the brochure that I sent you, making it more interesting, including some bits perhaps of video, and then send it to both the credential committee and or the committee that handles HR physicians, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is what is unique about our work is that we are not dependent on volume. It's quite the opposite. If you look at that brochure, we get $6,000 in advance for every single physician client.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
you don't need many.
Yeah.
And so
I see that here. I see the brochure for the HR physicians.
okay. And here's a thought that I have, and I'd like for you to be very candid and know that I'm really open because I definitely want to work with you. If we could agree on like a monthly fee, think
Yeah.
about that. Not only would that maybe in your best interest and mine, but what I'm willing to do is try and get as many people who have products or services like myself and see if we can get them to sign up to have you provide similar services for them.
Yes. We can work on that, George. In fact, what I felt was one of the main reasons why I started Video Therapy Network. Uh, this is something a month-old initiative, but the reason I started Video Therapy Network is because I wanted to help 10,000 social workers. In fact, I've increased the number to 100,000 right now because many social workers out there They're not creating content. Let it be LinkedIn posts or let it be text. They're too busy with their regular work hours. They don't have time to build their own communities. They don't have time to build their own skills. So that's one of the core reasons I thought I'll help other people monetize their skills by just doing simple videos with a proven formula. Again, this is for the same reason why I named it as video therapy, because you give lots of therapy. It's like, though I call it love level of vibrational energy, you have that vibrational energy. Because as a consultant, when you worked on the anger management movie, again, uh, with whatever the kind of journey which you had in the past, this is something, again, I say the world's best therapist has got 4 legs, which is again a pet or a dog or no matter whatever that is. Again, you are my Nelson Mandela in my life right now.
You can't imagine how exciting that would be.
It's again, I say that money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. And this is one of the main reasons I wanted to empower. In fact, my journey begins with one person, that is you right now. I should also accept the fact that this is like a big new journey. It's like, if you look at last 1,000 years or 5,000 years, Jews are really good at making money. How do they manage money? How are they really good with money? We know that they can walk on the eggshells as well. So how do I know this? Thou shalt prosper, one of the most magnificent books which you should be reading. If you take the Oxford Dictionary and look at the word Jew, it's a verb, which means the most successful people. And many people also believe the fact that Jews had passed the money gene in their sperm to their children and great grandchildren. So that's a strong belief. So what is the secret circumcision? How are Jews so rich? It's proven in the history. Even the Forbes, the top 100 listing, more than 40% of them are all Jewish.
You are so creative. It doesn't matter what you do. It's going to be exciting for anyone to watch or listen.
Yes.
And so I just thought, if I could get this guy, I had this funny thing that I was going to tell you. And I said, no, that would be embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I was going to ask you if you would consult with your family and ask if we could adopt you.
Yeah,
anyway, we know they're going to say no, so that's all right.
No, I can say yes.
You can. They can't get rid of. They can't lose you.
Yeah, I mean, my immediate family, my kids and my wife, again, they wouldn't want to lose me for sure. But with respect to the kind of services which you provide in emotional intelligence, again, with the thing which you had sent me as per reaching physician HRs, we can definitely do that with the videos. In anger management trainings, parenting, and batterers intervention is what you mentioned, right? So yes, we can work on the batterers intervention. So if the first thing which I wanted from you, George, is if you are reaching the decision maker in the US now, if you are reaching a physician HR, now let's visualize there is a physician HR in this Zoom room right now. Apart from giving the brochure or the PDF, or apart from whatever the pitch which we have for the credential committee members or the VPs, what would you say? I'll just pin you. Okay. I pinned you so that you can, let's visualize that there is this physician HR in this Zoom room. What would you tell him to begin with?
That our model of intervention is free of stigma. The reason is that in the United States, if a physician seeks psychiatric treatment, it could derail his or her career. And so that our model of intervention is based on emotional intelligence, which is positive. And so that there's nothing at all negative about it. And it's also evidence-based, which means that we start off with an assessment. We have a written curriculum with 3 different books and ancillary teaching material, and we end with a post-assessment. So both the organization that the physician works for, as well as the physician and his associates, will be able to notice the evidence of change in his or her behavior relative to 15 specific constructs that are listed in the emotional intelligence assessment. And if we want to go a step higher and we want to find out how other raters consider the changes that have been made in that physician, we can send a different kind of assessment in which we ask them, tell us what your views of Raj is on these 15 competencies, one at a time. So it's like 133 questions, but they are devoted to the same 15 scales that I mentioned. So that's what the physician wants to know, is that one, it's not counseling or psychotherapy, because that's the opposite of what a physician is going to want. It's free and it's totally confidential, and he or she can have all the intervention done virtually, which means our assessments are done online. Coaching is done via phone or Zoom or something equivalent.
Awesome. In fact, let me also bring up a strategy sheet for us right now. This is something which needs to be done on a one-time basis. In fact, this is again to empower others. So I'm just looking at a Excel sheet right now. So if I have to name this as per the brochure which you had sent me, now let's put in this emotional intelligence and leadership coaching for physician HRs as a mission. Let's call it a mission.
Okay.
So the mission, and let me call this as George's mission for this quarter. Probably we can call it for this year or for the 22, as this is the last. I'll call this as George Anderson's personal strategy sheet, and I'll mail this to you. Okay. This is.
What if we changed it a little bit? So let me give you an example. The name of the program for Saudi Arabia is Emotional Intelligence Coaching, Training, and Assessment for Patient Care. So the idea is that the whole focus is on the patient. Let me give you a live example. I had prostate cancer some years ago. I was treated at UCLA. UCLA has one of the first in the country to introduce emotional intelligence to everyone who worked there. And so that one day I was looking for the building that I was to go to for a specific examination. So I was just looking around. A gardener saw me and he says, "Sir, may I help you?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "I am just slightly off. I'm looking for this particular building." So he said, "Come with me." Instead of just telling me, pointing where it was, he walked all the way over with me and he opened the door for me. That's patient care, right? The same situation. I had to go to the doctor very frequently, 3 or 4 times a week for almost a year. And so that the person in the parking structure said, "Sir, I see you here very often. Instead of having to pay $15 each day, let me give you a discount." I never asked for a discount. I never complained that I had a problem and I didn't have a problem. But automatically, patient care is the issue. And so that she worked it out so that each time I paid, let's say, $2 as opposed to 15. It's like when you walk in the buildings, like now, you walk in the building and you may have forgotten your mask. You left it in the car. Right away, they say, "Oh my goodness, let me give you another mask." Patient care. And so that the hospital in Saudi Arabia That's what they like. Emotional intelligence for patient care, essentially that. And so that's what we want to do. Uh, but the way you are explaining it in terms of a mission, that's really, really good, because when UCLA was selected as one of the 4th best hospitals in the United States, that's what it was based on. Why is it they're so good? Well, technically they were astute all along, but their being technical astute is one thing, but that wouldn't have made a difference in the way I'm treated by the people who are ancillary staff. Finally, in relation to that, is that they don't like for you to be waiting for any length of time for an appointment. So what they do is, even though the doctor may not be able to see you right away, they have you seen by everybody else. The person comes out and they weigh you, someone else takes your blood pressure and so on. So they keep the patient feeling that we are taking care of you right now, that kind of thing.
Yeah, which is absolutely true. In fact, it's patient centric. In fact, the patient care is the center of the entire focus, the entire gamut. So, George, your laptop, probably yeah.
I'm just overly excited. I'm sorry.
That's absolutely fine. I didn't want to cut your flow. In fact, whatever we do for next 1 year, 5 years, I guess this is going to change the entire gamut of legacy which we are going to leave for the set of new therapists, counselors, anybody out there who's coming. In fact, if you remember the first video, the kind of intro which my boss, my ex-boss, I should say right now, who had given you, like, you have seen the print era, you have seen the television era, you're currently seeing the 21st century or the post-pandemic era, which is again the digital revolution. You have seen everything for the last 4 decades, and it's an honor, definitely, with whatever I had to do. Now, the only reason, if we sell it as a program, people may not be enrolled. When I say enrolled, I'll be very cautious about what they are going to be considering us. We don't want to be another course seller. We don't want to just sell a program. We want to sell our mission. So let's say our mission is to help. Who would be our target audience? Like you said, okay, our mission is to help
healthcare organizations to increase their ability to be focused on patient care in all aspects.
I love that. So George Anderson's mission right now, as the founder of Anderson's services, I am on a mission to help healthcare organizations
increase their effectiveness in all aspects of patient care. Did I lose you?
No, this is good. I'm on a mission to help healthcare organizations increase their effectiveness in patient care.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Now let's put a revenue goal as to how much we are going to achieve monthly. Let it be $25,000 or $100,000. You got to feel that. You got to feel it in your gut. It's not only in the brain and heart, because we have to stop thinking with our brain. We have to stop thinking with our heart. Or at times our heart tries to rule what our brain says, because you love doing this. You wanted to help people achieve this. Let it be physician HRs or the VPs, or let it be the intervention committee members. You have to feel that in your gut, because moment we turn off your brain and turn off your heart, you go by your gut feeling. Because people say, do you have the guts? Yes, I have the guts to transform 100,000 people. I have the guts. In fact, you have already done that. You have transformed thousands of lives in the last 4 decades. So let's put in a quick revenue goal. Monthly, let me know the number, George.
If we receive 10 patients a year, per month, and each pays $6,000, you can see that's quite substantial.
So,
and realistic, because it's not that many.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the thought, whatever the number you give, I'm going to 5x or 10x. When you say 6,000 per month, I want to put it as, I want to earn $60,000 per month. And I want your subconscious to plant this seed. It's going to happen. Trust me. We are going to do that. So you have to say with me right now, I earned $60,000 per month consistently on autopilot, doing what I love, helping millions of people live a happy and prosperous lifestyle. You got to repeat that with me, George.
I can't do that right now because I have short-term memory loss. But I like it and I understand what you are saying, but that still is a little bit low. I said something different and it was like, yeah, okay, but try me one more time and the next time we talk, I'll be able to get it correctly.
Okay.
So try it one more time.
Okay, even if we had to put in our revenue goal, so let's try it some other time, or shall we continue with this?
We can try this. What I would like to do is come back to that part of it, the details.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So the problem which we are solving, what is the problem which we are solving with helping the healthcare organizations increase their effectiveness in patient care? What is the biggest problem which we are solving?
When they increase their effectiveness with patient care, it increases their income, their revenue in all areas of their practice. And more importantly, it enhances the feeling of and effectiveness of their own staff. And so I'll give you an unrelated example. In this country, we have a series of hotels called Ritz-Carlton. And so that they also have associated the Waldorf Astoria in New York, which you probably have been to, a very famous old-time hotel. But what they did is that they introduced emotional intelligence. And so that my wife and I went to the one that's in Beverly Hills, which is new. So we drive up in the parking lot. One man comes to my door, one comes to her door, and that's fine. And then one of the two walks with us all the way inside to the elevator and opens the elevator and pushes the button for us to go where we were going. Okay. When we get off the elevator, someone is right there to meet us because he's already alerted them. And we get off the elevator and they realize that we don't have reservations for what we wanted, which is to be on top of the roof overlooking all of Beverly Hills. And we had no reservations. So they said, let's come up anyway and take a look. And so what we can do, they said, we can seat you here at the bar. This is, again, all the way at the top. And we'll do something. We will get you seated within 20 minutes, something like that. So that was really good. And so we were treated like that all night long. And then at the end, we come back down, our car is waiting for us. And the one guy on my side, not only does he open the door, but he actually takes the seat belt and he pushes it around me and clicks it. The guy on my wife's side is doing the same thing for her. And then they close the door and say, well, hope you had a good evening or something like that. That's way off the chart in terms of how much you would want to do for a patient. So let me give you a variation, the same thing. John and Jackie Kennedy spent their honeymoons at a place called San Ysidro Ranch. We used to go there a lot. So we used to have a big dog, an English sheepdog. And so we drive up and same thing, three people in this case would meet us because they knew that we had the dog, and the third person opens the back door and he takes the dog for a run. In the meantime, instead of checking in like you do at a hotel, you go in and you sit like around a fireplace. They offer you drinks, snacks, whatever it is that you want. And then at some point, someone will come over with a clipboard and then they will take down whatever information. And you have your own cottage, and your cottage has your name on the front of it in wood. And they remembered to have red roses for my wife, to have champagne chilling for us, and have the fireplace burning, right? They remember where you had dinner the last time, what you had, and whether you liked it or not. What wine you ordered, absolutely everything. And when you're having dinner, if you enjoy something, they will have the chef come out at the end and discuss it with you. Like my wife enjoyed the dessert. So the pastry chef came out and said, would you like to have the recipe? That's emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Patient care can make going to the hospital less painful and more. That's that dog. That's Dino. That's what's so creative about you. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. That's Dino.
Yeah, this is
And this
part
is
of.
my house. This is my house. This is the deck of my house.
Yeah, as you were narrating the story, and the moment you mentioned Dino, and like that flashed into my mind because I remember working on the pictures. I should thank all our set of people. In fact, I should thank your sister for making sure that we get these pictures. Uh, Again, the kind of pictures which were there. The good part about you, George, you speak from experience. You speak from your past uh, journey. In fact, uh, it's like you are a great storyteller. That's what we've seen. On LinkedIn also, I saw you spending hours, and I could see that. It takes lots of dedication, commitment from a young guy like you who had been through this journey. In fact, I was waiting for that, the youngest picture of yours, which would flash on the screen. Yeah, this one. So you've been a hard worker. You've been a great human being. In fact, what I wanted you to do is just be another, uh, not a regular storyteller, but I wanted you to make an impact. Anybody who listens to you for 30 seconds or 20 seconds should feel the impact which you're creating in the communities, not only in the patient care, in the healthcare communities, not only with the Saudi management or Saudi healthcare. I got to search for the firm which you're working. I guess Saudi Health is what you mentioned.
It's called SGH.
Saudi
It's
German.
Saudi German Healthcare. And so that technically it's based in Dubai, but it's all of Saudi Arabia and some of the other immigrants also.
Yeah, I could see that. Saudi German Health. In fact, I guess they could fly you on a charter plane if they need you in their in the hospital in less than 2 hours. I could see that Saudi German Health. Um, Definitely, with whatever you're doing uh, with the current target audience, let it be the physician HRs, we can work. This could be one of your greatest testimonials for the clients which you are dealing with. California to Saudi, I guess it would be a 8-hour flight or maybe 14-hour flight. I'm not sure what would be the flight, but let's see. The good part about the technology is, uh, though I'm sitting here in India and you're sitting in California, we both jumped into a virtual room and we are trying to look at the kind of solutions which we can offer for the problems which are there. So coming
Yes.
back to now, the problem is again with whatever the skill set which you are offering to the target audience, you wanted definitely their income levels will increase. Definitely, there's no doubt about it. Everybody's revenue will increase once they start monetizing their skills. So we will get into the details. Or with the brochure which you had sent me, I'll position ourselves as the authority. I'll position ourselves as the leaders in the market. I'll work on the rest of the things, and I'll work on the kind of promises which we are offering to the all our target audience. And I'll work on a 6-step system. The 6-step system is nothing but we will work on the self-analysis. We'll work on a goal. We'll create a plan. I'll take care of all this. And we already have the website. We will work on building the community. Now, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube is something which I'll work on. And we'll offer a few bonuses. Now, this brochure which you had sent me, we'll work on, we'll package it in such a way, in a beautiful way, like the way this gentleman at Ritz-Carlton Hotel had offered you. Probably it could be, though you didn't have reservation, probably it could be a beautiful or awesome experience in the bar. So we'll offer the bonuses. We'll offer um, some beautiful contests or challenges. Now, everything which I put in is in Indian prices, but you already have lots of books. We'll give away the books, we'll give away the ebooks or resources, and we'll also donate the 10% to the charity. Now, with the kind of earnings which we have now, with respect to the questions, what we have to do is, with whatever you had already done on LinkedIn, George, with the kind of polls which you are doing, we'll modulate probably 10 questions or 100 questions. We'll work on the basic principles first. What are the principles or trending things in the healthcare, as in the patient care? I wouldn't say healthcare, but in the patient care. So what are the, we'll work on the 10 principles or 5 principles of the trending things in patient care. There's no way we will fail at this, because this model is being used by billionaires also. Let's work on the basics of patient care, which is already there in your brochure. I'll work on all the questions which would anybody ask in the patient care on emotional intelligence, like the way we mentioned, on a mission to help healthcare organizations increase their effectiveness in patient healthcare. And also, I've seen leadership coaching, training, and assessments. Now, the good part, the unique selling proposition which you have is the assessments. Now, in the interest of time, as we already crossed 30 minutes, shall I continue with the rest of it, or shall we take it on another day?
Well, let me make a comment first, is that this is something that you wouldn't know, but it's extremely important. In the United States, we have an organization, and it's called the Joint Commission on the Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. And all hospitals and all healthcare organizations must belong to that organization. And they have to operate on the principles that are established. And so in 2008, the Joint Commission came up with a new mandate. And the mandate was, any physician whose behavior at work risk patient safety must have written policy in terms of how they will address that issue. And so that before anyone had ever done it, before I even had heard of it, I was called by a hospital chain out of Dallas, Texas, in which case the CEO said, "We know the work that you do in emotional intelligence. Would you be willing to write a specific curriculum based on emotional intelligence, not mental health, to address this issue? We will permit our physicians, mostly surgeons, work with you if you'd like. And we will commit in advance that once the project is completed, we will use you exclusively for our 68 hospitals." So I started off with the person who had the first curriculum, the practice of control. You can do anything you want with copies. I'll send you whatever you want, or we can send you positive downloads. And so that no one can say that they have seen as many clients as we have. It just can't be. And so that was the core. So in California, there's an organization called Kaiser Permanente, and that's the single largest client that I have. And so they have, I think, about 20,000 physicians in Northern California and about 12 in Southern California. And I don't see, it's only like 3 or 4% of the people who would ever need this service in the first place. But most of them are seen by us. They can't force anybody, and I wouldn't accept that anyway. But the physician can select whomever he wishes. But we're the biggest, without any question. So being the first and the biggest is something that should be mentioned in much of the publications, I think.
Now, that's great news, and George. In fact, as per the 2008 mandate, which you mentioned, again, every physician out there has to go through this in case if there is a vulnerability factor to the patient care. Probably I'm trying to articulate in the best possible way, but now let's come back to whatever we are offering. Now, the trip.
Just a second, I want to tell you this because it's a story and you would appreciate it. Let me tell you what happened. In New York City, an orthopedic surgeon, was going to amputate a patient's leg. And so there were 14 people in the operating room. They saw him mark with a black pen the wrong leg. And even though they knew he was marking the wrong leg, they let him amputate the wrong leg for real because they hated the doctor. And that's how they came up with the term behavior at work that risk patient safety. And that was the example. No reason that they would have let that happen if it were not for the fact that they had complained about this doctor for years and no one did anything. So of course they had to do something then. He got fired. That was the end of it. Anyway.
Which year was this, George?
I can't tell you that. I can find out for you, but I can't tell you from memory right now. It was before 2008, and so I would think it's around 2007 or 06.
Okay, I mean, stories like this, which are facts, in fact, is this okay if they are part of the conversation and the recording? Because we didn't reveal the identity of the doctor, or we didn't talk anything about the name of the patient, though. That should be okay, right? Because this is one of the examples.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is send you something more, because I've been in newspapers all over the country, and nothing in India, but in almost all English-speaking countries, as well as French. In the United States, we have something called APA, which is American Press Association, but in France, they call it AFP. Well, they sent a group to interview me here in my home, and they published a series of articles, and I'll send everything to you. And they sent it to all of the French-speaking countries in the world. And so I've been on a documentary for the BBC, just every paper that you can think about. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, it doesn't make any difference. We've been featured. And for one, that was funny that I am going to include in the presentation that I'm giving next week, is one physician who was mandated to see me. He came from Tennessee, and he was a surgeon, but he was a spine surgeon. He was really, really good. And he was a person who he designed instruments for use in surgery. And so he was doing a spine surgery, and the technician gave him the wrong instrument. And he threw the instrument in the ceiling of the operating room. And it was right at the beginning of COVID. Instrument came down and hit one of the colleagues on the shoulder. You follow me?
Yeah.
That's bad news. And so when he finished the surgery, the administrator and 3 other people were right outside, and they said, "Come with me, doctor." And they said, "We're escorting you off the premises. You cannot return to this hospital until you prove you completed this course. Here's a card." And it was my card. So we got just many stories like that.
It's again how people manage their past experience. It's all about that Blair Singer's inner voice. I call it the thoughts which keep us awake, because moment you hit your head to the pillow and look at the ceiling before you go to bed, there's thousands of thoughts. In fact, I wouldn't say millions, but there's so many thoughts in our head. How we manage them is more important, be it for physician, be it for anybody who's managing their daily lives with whatever they had to do for tomorrow and the rest of the days. So again, in respect of time, George, do we still have time, or shall we?
Except I would need to get my plug for my computer, because my computer has low battery.
Okay.
But it's up to you. I don't want you to feel under any pressure.
No, I'm not on pressure. Okay. Take your time. I'll grab some water also. Probably get a water bottle also.
Okay.
Grab anything. Yeah, take your time to grab anything you want to munch on or eat. That should be absolutely fine with me. You can take a break for 5-10 minutes.
I'll be back.
I would clearly say, George, that we are not selling a course. We are not selling a program. What we are going to do is we sell the mission. We are,
Okay.
we are selling your goal, your ultimate goal. What would be your goal for the patient care, or for the physician HRs, or for the intervention committee members, or for the VPs? What is your goal?
My goal is to advance the cause of the mission of emotional intelligence for people who have been neglected throughout the world. It's a very inexpensive and effective way of individuals behaving in a sensitive, civil way to each other. And so that is the closest thing that I can imagine that all organized religions should support. Emotional intelligence is the ability to be aware of your own feelings and to be sensitive to the feelings of others, and to be able to use that information in a way that leads to a positive outcome for both you and the other person. And it doesn't matter the age of the person. Women who are exposed to emotional intelligence during pregnancy are more likely to have infants that are relatively free of many of the common childhood problems, such as developing bowel and sphincter control, and so on. And so it's not just me, it's not just my organization, but as an African American, I've done exceptionally well, and I would like to share with others. And I am sad to say that emotional intelligence is more likely to be offered in affluent areas than the opposite. Even the example that I gave you was Waldorf Astoria, and it was Ritz-Carlton. And the third place was in Santa Barbara. Again, only people who are very wealthy can go to places like that. On the other hand, right now, we have something called social emotional learning, which is the same thing, but it focuses on education for children from preschool through high school. And that's what I would like to do, is train as many people as I possibly can, and in many services I possibly can, in order to increase the competency of people who can provide these services.
Awesome. So that would be like a lesson one of your course. It's like, this is part of the mission, this is part of the goal. Now, this one lesson is done. You're not doing anything else. People who come to you, who come to us, will go through this recording, or probably I'll make sure I put in the intro, outro, I'll put in the transcription, I'll put in the subtitles, I'll put in some B-roll, I'll add in whatever I had to do. And that's done. Now, what are the current challenges which we are facing, George, in terms of reaching this goal? One is marketing, definitely something which I know. The biggest challenge which we are facing is to reach our target audience. We have the fear of technology, or with the kind of experience which you had been through, probably you need more, I would say, assistants or virtual assistants, or probably you need a team of people who can help you monetize your goal or accelerate your mission. That's what I could feel. But I would like to hear it from horse's mouth, or I would like to hear it from you, to be precise, as in, what are the marketing, what are your current challenges?
Actually, I wouldn't say, if I was to limit it down to one, I would say, in spite of our success, we're not known by as many of the organizations that are needed. And so I sent you something which I'll do again. And it's like, I can look at tiny posts that I make and see who views the post, not as an individual, but it's like various universities and hospitals. And that's a clue to me that they're looking also at my website. And they probably are interested in some of the services that we offer to physicians. And so that they may have known or heard a little bit about us, but don't know a lot. And so that it's providing information regarding who we are and what it is that we do to a broader range of people who would be interested in our services. In contrast to many providers,
Can you hear me, George? I lost you.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Could you please continue?
I don't want to repeat it, unless you want me to repeat what I said.
The last part, because my internet connection was lost. Only the last 30 seconds or last 1 minute, because uh, again, what we are going to do is we are going to put this as the biggest marketing challenge. The biggest challenge which we are going to face right now is reaching these people, right?
Yeah. So the biggest marketing challenge is reaching healthcare organizations, more precisely hospitals, that hire a lot of physicians. We've never, for example, seen a nurse or an ancillary staff, not in relation to a hospital. We only provide services for physician because the hospitals are willing to pay for the services of a physician or the needs that he or she has, but not of someone of lesser status. So if more hospitals know what it is that we do, and they can see how it is to their advantage as well as the organization, that would increase in a natural way our flow.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. In fact, one thing I would request you to do is, George, um, make me as your virtual assistant in whatever you do. I'll pop in. With respect to the numbers, let it be that $2,000 which you mentioned on LinkedIn. That's absolutely fine with me. First, let's accelerate the kind of goal and mission which you have. Reach more people. Let's create more awareness. Even if we had to sell the $6,000 program for 10 people or 5 people or 100 people, we have to, the business equation which I follow is, if you have to have one conversion of the emotional intelligence coaching or the leadership coaching, I have to reach, I need to have, I need to have at least 10 leads in my kitty, as in, let me see if I can draw. Okay, there's no option to draw here, but it's like, if I need one conversion, I need to have 10 leads. But for me to have those 10 leads, I need to talk to 100 people.
Okay.
So if I need 10, if I need probably 5 people taking the emotional intelligence coaching or the leadership coaching from you, if I need 5 people in the Zoom room with you in the virtual training paying $6,000, I need to have 50 leads. If I need 5 conversions, I need to have 50 leads. And for reaching 50 leads in my funnel, in my bucket list, I need to reach out to 500 people. I mean, we need to create awareness among 500 hospitals or 500 physicians or 500 target audience. We know for the fact that the LinkedIn posts which you have put in had already reached in the last 1 year. To my experience of knowing you in the last 1 year, it had reached thousands of people from various hospitals, like you mentioned. Now, it's not only in US, but globally. I could see that people from Middle East, people from Asia also were going through your LinkedIn posts, because I saw a couple of others engaging on your polls. So coming back to your question of reaching the global audience, definitely we can do that. I'll work on the latest trends, whatever the latest trends which are there, be it, I'll go ahead and create Instagram handle. Is your, is your one of the managers, what should I?
Rachel is a person that is my key person. And so I would like to connect you with her. And then you can spend as much time as needed. And
Yeah,
she's really, really good.
Yeah, what now, respecting your time, what I would do is I'll get in touch with Rachel. Tell, probably you can tell Rachel that Raj is on board as our sales boy, as salesman, or You give me any title designation, doesn't matter to me, because I strongly believe in uh, what kind of mission you are driving right now for next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Whatever you do in reaching or helping more people to gain your skill set, the the formula which I'm working on is, first somebody has to go through your recording. Uh, they have to go through a mini course. They have to go through some series of lessons, recorded lessons, after which they will come on the weekly live sessions with you. If they have any doubts, if they have any questions, after watching the mini recording or the mini lessons, then they get on a weekly live in a group coaching. In the group coaching, they can get all their doubts cleared. They can get all their questions answered from you in limited time. Let it be whatever the time. I could see that from the module or the brochure that you're offering the $6,000 package as a high-end package where they interact with you, where they learn things. It's like a one-on-one coaching, or probably it could be, it's a micro group coaching. It's like limited to 10 people or 15 people is what you're offering. That's what I understood. But after talking to Rachel, after creating more awareness on the Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, you will know the results, because we are bound to see the results in less than 30 days or in less than 60 days or 90 days, because if we put in efforts, definitely the results would be visible. And I'll do whatever it takes to put in my efforts, because again, my strengths as per my EQ assessment. I should thank you and Rachel for offering me my $10,000 gift, or probably it's priceless. I wouldn't put a number to it. It's priceless because at some point in my journey, in my career, as I was going through, you offered me great insights. You offered me great solutions. I still remember the call which you, me, and Rachel had been through after going through the PDF and assessment. That gave me lots of breakthroughs. Probably the kind of transformation which I had today is because of the breakthroughs which I had been through. It could be like your BBC documentary, or it could be getting listed on Wall Street Journal. So let's do this, George. If you have time, if you would love to speak anything, I'm more than willing to listen to you. I have all my ears, all my hours for you. But again, I can get the ball rolling. I can get to work. Speaking to Rachel, and let's see whatever it takes to, you send me whatever had to be sent to, let it be PDFs, Excel sheets, any emails. Do not consider that you're spamming me. Send me hundreds or thousands of them. I'll talk to Rachel. I'll activate the YouTube channel. I'll activate the Instagram handle. I'll activate the Facebook private group, private community. We will also bring in the kind of people whom you helped in the past decade, probably in the last 5 years, 10 years. We'll all bring them into our own community, our own emotional intelligence community of creators, because we need them to nurture the future clients. We need them to nurture or help other people who are coming into the community. It could be
I like that, and I believe that will be easy to do. That I have a list of everybody, and I can contact them and let them know what we're up to. That's really, really good.
Yeah, and we don't need to call them. You just send them a link. Hey, we have created our own private Facebook group. We have also created our own Telegram group, our own LinkedIn group. Feel free to hop in anytime. There are weekly live sessions, which I wanted you to hop in, where it's like an alumni meet. It could be like an alumni meet, or it could be Anderson and Anderson Services pep talk, or it could be coffee talks, or it could be virtual parties. We can call it anything. We'll name it anything. I'll finalize that with Rachel. So we'll create that legacy, not only for Brian Anderson, we'll create the legacy for not only Nancy, but for the rest of thousands of people who are going to pass on this torch bearer. They call it like the torch bearer of, right, in Olympics, they pass it on to another person. So let's do that.
I really appreciate all of this. And so what I will do is that I'll be talking with Rachel later this evening, and before Friday, I'll have to get in touch with you.
Yeah, sure.
What I'd like you to do tonight, though, is to send me a quick message with your mailing address directly to India.
Yeah, sure. I'll drop you. In fact, my mailing address is hello@rajmeesa.com. Mesa as in messages, like you send a text message, right? It's spelled as it's spelled as MESSA as in message, a short message. You know me as Raj. So message is like a text message or
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about something that's slightly different. And so I need a mailing address that comes to your location, your business or your house.
oh, okay. I'll send you the physical address. I'm
Yeah.
sure I would be having the surprise books, which has the golden. It could be a transcript. It could be the Bible of emotional intelligence. Definitely, I'll do that, George. But thank you so
Okay.
much. It's been golden 60 minutes, I would say, golden 1 hour spending with you. And I always get goosebumps, I should say, talking to you. I'm always on fire, on my toes. But you will.
So much. Tell your family that we really love you.
Yeah, George. Thank you so much. I love you. Please take care. And I'll stay in touch with Rachel. Just tell Rachel that do whatever it takes to accelerate our marketing efforts with Raj. And I'll send you my physical mailing address. I'll also keep Rachel in the loop and we'll take it forward.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can't wait until our next meeting.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.